Where did the first Catholic Mass take place in the Philippines?
On March 31st, 1521, the first Catholic Mass in the Philippines was held at Limasawa Island in southern Leyte. Ferdinand Magellan and his crew, together with local rulers Raja Colombo and Raja Siagu, joined in prayer. After the Mass, a cross was planted on the island, marking the beginning of Christianity in the country, faith that remains strong among Filipinos today.
What happened in the Cavite Mutiny?
Year 1872 marked two historic events. 1. The Cavite Mutiny. 2. The martyrdom of the three priests Mariano Gomez, Jose Burgos, and Jacinto Zamora Gomberza. These events were milestones in Philippine history, sparking the awakening of nationalism and influencing the Philippine Revolution later in the century. The Cavite Mutiny has different accounts, showing a battle of perspectives from primary sources. Gomberza. The name Gomberza comes from the combined surnames of three Filipino priests, Padre Mariano Gomez, Padre Jose Burgos, and Padre Jacinto Zamora. They were secular priests who stood against the abuses of Spanish friars and sought reforms in the church. Padre Mariano Gomez, an elderly priest from SDA Cross, Manila. He was 72 years old when he died. Known as a kind and wise priest, he championed the secularization movement. Padre Jose Burgos, a young priest from Vigan, Ilocos Sur. He was an excellent teacher and scholar who earned multiple degrees from the University of Santo Tomas. He was best known as a brave advocate of reforms and equal rights for Filipino priests. Padre Jacinto Zamora, a priest born in Pandacan, Manila. He was known for his kindness and dedication as a protector of the poor. He became a victim of false accusations due to a joke about playing cards that was linked to the rebellion. The three were executed on February 17, 1872, by garrote in Bagumbayan, now Rizal Park. Their death became a powerful inspiration for Filipino nationalism, especially for Jose Rizal, who dedicated his novel El Filibusterismo to their memory. In his account, Spanish historian Jos Montero Vidal traced the Cavite Mutiny not only to the loss of privileges of the Arsenal workers, but to powerful ideas sweeping across the world. He pointed to the Spanish Revolution, the rise of liberal and republican thought, and the influence of American writings as forces that inspired Filipinos to dream of independence. According to Montero, even members of the native clergy, opposed to the friars, joined this movement, uniting with those who sought to challenge Spain's rule in the Philippines. Governor Rafael de Izquierdo described the Cavite Mutiny as nothing more than a conspiracy of soldiers and workers angered by the loss of their privileges, especially their exemption from tribute and forced labor. In his official report, he accused the native clergy of fueling unrest against the friars, linking them to the uprising. For Izquierdo, the mutiny was proof that Filipinos could not be given too much freedom, a warning that justified Spain's tightening of colonial control. The Filipino scholar Tavera explained that the Cavite Mutiny of 1872 was not a revolution, but only a small protest. Workers and soldiers rose up after losing their privileges. Yet, the Spanish exaggerated the event and used it as an excuse to punish the Filipino priests. For Tavera, the execution of Gomberza was unjust and only meant to silence the growing voice of the Filipino clergy. Meanwhile, the French writer Planchet also believed the mutiny was misunderstood. He said the Spaniards twisted a simple protest into a rebellion. Planchet stressed that Gomberza were innocent and their deaths were meant to strike fear. But instead, their martyrdom awakened the spirit of nationalism among Filipinos. In January 1872, Filipino soldiers and workers at the Cavite Arsenal staged a protest after losing their longtime privileges. What began as a small uprising was exaggerated by Spanish authorities as a dangerous revolution. Governor General Izquierdo claimed it was a plot led by Filipino priests. Soon after, Fathers Jimenez, Burgos, and Zamora, known as Gomberza, were executed. Their deaths were unjust, but they awakened the spirit of nationalism among Filipinos. The Cavite Mutiny, though small in scale, became a turning point that inspired the future fight for freedom.